Okay, I'm back. Let me turn that off. Thank you to the wonderful people at the team of Sonic GT for those songs, by the way. So anyway, sorry, I forgot to put you back on screen. So I got everything I need ready to go. I got all four of GX's intros right here. I know I said earlier that I was gonna do these another stream, but shut up, because I don't care. I'm doing them now, and I want to. So anyway, I should probably sum up my feelings about GT in general. So for the longest time, I had when I was a dub watcher, I had no interest in watching GT because I always heard GX. The fuck? This isn't Dragon Ball. From what I heard from everybody, I always heard that GX was bad or that GX was like not as good as the original series. And as a child, when you hear things like that, you're kind of inclined to believe them because, I mean, what else do you really know as a kid? Plus, it's not like I could have watched the sub even if I wanted to because, you know, people like me didn't really have access to that as a kid. So, anyway, when I finally decided to watch GX for the first time, I actually did watch it via the dub. And I will say I didn't hate it, but I didn't exactly love it either. I mean, it was kind of cringy. I didn't expect when I would end up watching the sub that I would actually even enjoy GX, let alone actually consider it better than the original series, but I did. It's actually exponential how different the subs are in comparison to the dubs because GX is actually a very mature coming of age story. And that's something I didn't get from the dub in the slightest until at least season 3. But season 1 up front does a good job at displaying what the whole series is about. And I think it's very underrated, truthfully. And it's kind of a crime what the dub ended up doing to GX. It's kind of a crime how much it fumbled, in my opinion, anyway. Some people will beg to differ and will just continuously spat out the memes like they mean anything, like they mean the show's good. Because it's spoiler alert, memes are usually made of something that's bad. So just because you like the memes and you think they're funny doesn't mean the show's good, because it isn't. I know, I'm sorry. I actually hate the dubs now, and this is coming from someone who grew up loving the dubs. They are trash. They are straight up trash. I'm sorry. Be mad at me. Talk about nostalgia all you want. They're trash. And this is coming from someone who has nostalgia for these shows. They are trash. The subs are good. The dubs are not. Pure and simple. I'm sorry. Like that's uh it yikes, dude. I'm really struggling to find a single thing that the dubs really do better, and I guess the one thing the subs did do right is they got people to know what Yu-Gi-Oh is, which is sad, but I mean, that's the only point I can really give it. And it took a show like GX, which is so bad in the dub, but is then actually amazing in the sub, to make me realize that I should never watch any of the Yu Gi Oh dubs again. It's actually watching the GX dub when I've seen the sub is actually unfucking bearable. It's so bad. Like I don't even know how I actually stomached the dub when I watched the dub first before the sub. I don't know how I actually stomached it. Like it's ugh, man. It's not okay. Like I'm acting like it's like the most unwatchable thing ever. It's not, but it's just like at a certain point, it's just like, okay. What I hear a lot of people say is that the dub is better because it understands how ridiculous it is. I'm like, well, Yu-Gi-Oh isn't actually ridiculous. The only reason you think it's ridiculous is because you're watching the dubs. Yu-Gi-Oh is actually not ridiculous at all. It's just the people who watch the dubs just think it is because the dub treat themselves like jokes. It doesn't treat itself like an actual story. And for me personally, at least, if you don't have confidence in your own story to the point where you're making jokes about it, I'm sorry, you've lost me. Because if you don't give a shit, why should I? Because, and honestly, that's how I feel. To give credit to the dub of the original, it at least somewhat treated itself seriously. The dub of GX just doesn't. It doesn't at all, except for in the third season. And I'm sorry, again, I cannot stress this enough. If you don't have confidence enough in your story to the point where you're making jokes about it, you've lost me. It's made for children. Why bother? But it's not made for. Hi, Suika. It's not made for children. And also, that's not an excuse because we also have shows like Teen Titans that is made for children and is still able to treat itself seriously and give a good story for kids. Yeah, for kids. You're right. That is actually a good point. I often forget. I think that's what kind of I think I forget that. I totally forgot for a second 4 Kids existed. I think that's the problem. I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh would have done better it wasn't if the dub wasn't done by 4 Kids. I feel like that would have been better because I really do genuinely feel like Yu-Gi-Oh like GX could have kept the humor and understood its like ridiculousness while also retaining what the sub tries to convey about the story. I feel like it could have been done if just I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely just I'm saying this because that's actually good. Yeah, because it's like I genuinely love GX, and it's such a shame that like people just look at GX like it's bad purely because they've only watched the dub and they don't actually understand any of the story or the meaning behind it. Because the dub just says it says such a terrible job at it. Like putting all that aside, right? Well, it's all for kids. Yeah, it is. Like I understand that it is for kids. That's true. But also, again, like the example I put up for Teen Titans. Teen Titans was for kids. Don't blame the. Yeah, that's actually true. For kids. I'm sorry. I shouldn't blame the dub. I should blame 4 Kids. Cause like even like think about shows like Teen Titans for example. 4 Kids in those finger. Yeah, I'm sorry. The finger gun shit was stupid. I'm so sorry. That was the dumbest shit ever. Because literally, there are other shows that have guns. Literally, there's a Barrel Dragon is a literal dragon made of guns. I do not understand why they needed to censor the guns. Was it really? Hey, you points aggressively. Like for real, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that. Did we? Whatever. Let's totally not pretend that uh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I got too intense with that. But like for real though, I think my point is GX genuinely surprised me. What studio would you have preferred for the dub? That's actually a good question. That is actually a really good question, Suika. Oh, by the way, Suika, first off, I didn't give you an official introduction. Hi, I decided to do a tier list for all the intros that I have seen for Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm gonna actually do. I haven't told Avalon this either, but I'm actually gonna do 5Ds for the ones I've seen, and then after that, I'm gonna do the endings. I'm gonna just make this a straight up tier list stream. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna actually play GX today, Tag Force today. I shouldn't say that. I will do it. I will do it later, just not now. Just not now. I will do it later. So don't anyone who's here for Tag Force, don't leave. I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry. 5Ds too. Yeah, actually, like 5Ds. I haven't finished 5Ds yet. Actually, maybe I should. I haven't finished 5Ds yet, but I feel like I'm gonna just do it anyway because I mean I'm here. Get your game on as S tier. I will say that that is a good intro, but like again, like I think for a studio that could have done Yu-Gi-Oh right, I think I forget their name, but call me crazy, but I actually think the people who made Cowboy Bebop might have done a good job. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, like, the shows kind of have similar vibes a little bit. Not entirely, but I kind of feel like they could have done a good job. Maybe? What do you guys think of that? Am I, like, tripping or what? I don't know. Maybe that is a bit much. I just, like, I thought of the Cowboy Bebop comparison for, the intro. I think it was for Wild Drive, and I kind of like have that in my head. I don't know. I think maybe if I had to pick one that I knew for sure, could be maybe. I think if I had to pick one for certain, I would probably. I know this is going to sound weird as hell, but I would actually pick the people who made Death Note, and I say that mainly just because, like, with the uncensored stuff involved, Yu-Gi-Oh and Death Note unironically kind of have like a similar setup in terms of how the world is. It's very chaotic. It's very a lot of scummy people in there. I feel like they could do a good job with that, with displaying that. The only thing I feel like that would be kind of iffy for Death Note would be the card game part. I'm not sure if they would be able to handle that well. Where would you put the American Yu-Gi-Oh opening? Huh. I that's something that I'm not really able to make a tier list on that because they use the same intro consistently for most of the shows. That being said, if I had to make it if I had to put it on this tier list, I would probably put it in B over here on top of Wild Drive. Because it actually is a good intro. It does a visually it does a good job at displaying what happens in each arc. The problem with the intro is that it's used consistently for every single season. And as I said earlier, there's only so many times. I know so many people say that intro is classic, it never gets old. Yeah, no, it does. I'm sorry. There's only so many times that you can hear someone say it's time to duel before it gets old. Those people are cringy. I'm sorry. I love, and this is coming from someone who grew up repeating that intro all the time. But I'm sorry, it just gets old. It does. Eh, Uh, so I would put it in B. It's a good intro. Visually, it does a good job at explaining what's gonna happen in every arc because it actually does change. I will give it that. But the song kind of just gets old over time. And maybe that's because I've watched the dub ever since I was a little kid. So this is someone who's watched it for like 21 years of my life. So that might be why. Also in the sub, it's straight hell people get sent to, not the Shadow Realm, which the Death Note guys would put a more serious note. Actually, that's true. I actually feel like if the Death Note people did this show, they would do a good job at expanding the Shadow Realm, which is something I would really like. Actually, I mean not the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm, like hell, and even just like the punishments for like losing a shadow duel, I feel like Death Note would do a really good job at that. Not saying that like um they didn't do a good job already because they did a good job at making the punishments pretty demented, but I think they would do an even better job. But anyway, I keep forgetting I'm supposed to be doing the GX intros. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's get started. Let's actually do these. Actually, before I do, how many of you guys have seen the GX sub intros? How many of you have? If you have, let me know. Or hell, how many of you have actually seen like the sub intros for regular Yu-Gi-Oh? You never said where Get Your Game On. Oh shit. I didn't I thought you didn't ask me that. I've seen the first one. I've never watched sub. Well, forget your game on. Okay, get your game on. I would probably put at B below below the American intro for Yu-Gi-Oh because uh it's very catchy, but it lacks a huge amount of timelessness. When I watch the intro for Yu-Gi-Oh GX, it gives me the vibe of a trying too hard. It gives me the vibe of how do you do, fellow kids? That's what it gives me the vibes of. The rapping, the music, it's kind of just like trying too hard. It's good, but it just tries too hard. Like I feel like the original Yu-Gi-Oh had with the like Egyptian-esque music, it had more timelessness to it because of the fact that it relates to the show. I feel like GX is a show that's kind of hard to give it a theme like that. Like a theme that fits with Yu-Gi-Oh in general, that worked with the original because it had that Egyptian-esque music and kind of like the rap-y theme here and there, but it doesn't really work with GX, I don't think, because GX is more tied to modern things. It's good, but I would put it at again, I would put it at B just below the original, but not by much. It's like an inch because it is a good intro. I had a viewer leave. I imagine that's Suika. She just I mean Suika. Suika just rage quit. I imagine that in my head. I'm sure that's not what actually happened, but I'm just saying. I know. I'm joking. I know. I wonder who that viewer was though. Yeah, I know. I was just joking. I wonder who that viewer was. I'm sure it was just someone who came in. Anyway, I keep ignoring. I'm sorry, Suika. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I mean, I did, but in a harsh way. Anyway, let me get started on the actual intro, please. Let's get started. Well, let's just see. Okay, well, let's just see. Anyways, yeah. I didn't fucking unmute it. God damn it. What is wrong with me? I didn't unmute it. Okay. Did I unmute the I didn't. I was so distracted I forgot. There is one more intro. What? Oh, one more thing. You guys have never watched the sub, have you? How would you feel if I were to do a watch along for the sub? Would that be okay by Twitch actually? Would that be okay? I've seen people do watch alongs on Twitch before, and the sub for Yu-Gi-Oh isn't really something that's copyrighted, so technically I could probably do that. I don't know if that's like leaning too much to the whole like completely watching content thing. I don't know if that's leaning too much there. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't. Uh I don't know if that breaks the rules too much. Again, I've seen other people do it, but that doesn't mean it's okay. So I'd have to look into that. I think that could be fun though. Maybe I could do that on Discord or something. Anyway, what's the dub intro? So I'll do that before I actually watch this intro. I've watched about 10 episodes of the sub. You might be able to do it, provided you pause occasionally and comment. Oh yeah, of course, fair use, of course, yeah. Probably best for Discord. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might do that for Discord, since you got to 5Ds only. Wait, what do you mean? Did you ever hear it? Shit. I have heard of it, but I don't remember it very much. I'm actually okay. Wait. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to it, so let me do that real quick. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds English intro. Let me wait, what? Hyperdrive? Okay. Now I remember. Okay. Hey, you stole that shot. I'm just kidding. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Okay, that was actually okay, Sweet. I'll give you that. That was actually pretty good. That song was pretty good in general. I'll give you that. I would probably put that above both of them. I would actually I would probably put it at A, just below actually I'd put it above Voice, I think. But that's it. You're not beating the others, but I would definitely put it above Voice. Actually, that's the first one I think would actually beat Rare Dub W mode. Yeah, really, actually genuinely, I think so. I would put it above Voice mainly just because in terms of the like energy, I think it kind of beats Voice. I'm kind of Suika, I'm kind of sad that you didn't get to see the or have you seen the sub intros for uh the original Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm kind of sad you missed it. I might go back and listen to them again just so you can see it, but anyway, tell me if you've seen them first, but I'm kind of sad you missed. I know the season 0 intro. Ah, okay. But you haven't seen the others? I might go back and see those later after I do GX. I keep getting distracted. I don't like the sub intros really. Oh, okay. That's fair. Everyone has their own taste. So let me actually do the GX intros now. They're kind of not my style. That's fair. That's fair. Everyone has their own taste. I will say sometimes, I will say, like, for example, in the case of Wild Drive, I would definitely agree there. Like, I would prefer the English intro over Wild Drive, for example. But, like, the others, because I look at everything from, like, lyrics to visuals, I feel like these just, like, beat them overall. But for Wild Drive, I would agree. Certain times, like, the vibe just doesn't fit. Anyway, again, let's actually get to watching the GX intros, please. Let's do it. Okay. Get on the deck. Get on the deck. What? Okay. I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Get on the deck. Get on the dick. Okay. I don't know what. Get on the deck definitely lowers the intro down a spot. It too for me. Yeah, it does. Okay, it's kind of going down for me. Oh, this is such an awesome. That moment there kind of put it down for me. Oh. Oh, okay. So now to get to the part. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, like up until this point, it was pretty good. And then right here, it kind of went down for me. I feel like well, let me actually get into like the specifics first. First off, I love this shot of them going out of I love ska music, but I don't think it was near here. Yeah, like so the whole vibe of this song is kind of silly, but like I kind of don't rock with it. I think like at first, like right here, it was pretty good. I think a little bit energetic, a little bit like silly, but like I think it's fine. It kind of fits GX. And then I'm gonna go back right here. Where was it? Right here. I don't like this. I don't like that. I didn't like that. That like actually like I was bumping my head for a bit, and then right when I heard that, I was just like, okay. Like I think you're trying too hard. It's not hitting. It's not working. Like right there. Maybe I don't know what it is about it that didn't make it work. Maybe it was like maybe it was them trying to like fit as much like lyrics as possible there. Like I think that was just too much. A lot of these shots were used for the dub intro, as I can see. But I think my favorite, like this shot, I don't think I ever saw. This shot's so silly as hell. That just looks ridiculous. Like this just looks ridiculous. He can't even fit on that motorcycle. Like the okay. I love this shot. It's funny, but it's just ridiculous. Like I love it, but it's ridiculous as hell. Other than that though, like I think overall this oh god, I'm sorry. I love this shot. I think Flame Wingman has become one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monsters just because of this shot. I when they did this shot in the first episode, I I I don't even know how to explain it. The shot is so sick. I love when characters in general like do a shot like this where it's like like they're like a silhouette on like a shining object in the back. I love that kind of shot. When I saw this, I wanted to draw this so bad. Like it's just such an awesome shot. I love it. I feel like I'm gonna like he's doing what in the business is called the Batman. Does Batman do stuff like that a lot? I guess he does. Yeah, in, like Batman the Animated Series, I think he does. Like it's just such a good shot. I like Flame Wingman in general, but like that shot just makes me love him as a monster in general. I can see why he's Jaden's favorite. And then this right here, I'm gonna say Suika. I will say get your game on actually fits better for this because it's like uh come on and get your game on. Like that actually fits with the animation a lot more than this. It does this does fit though because like the music stops right after it stops. Like it does fit fine, but like I do think come on and get your game on just hits harder with this little segment here. I think get your game on just hits harder. So actually like get your game on kind of beats it here. But anyway, let's get into the tier list now. So first off, uh fine weather rising hallelujah. I'm not gonna do the lyrics anymore because I wasn't really doing much of that to begin with. Or actually, I should because I should how it fits with the thing. Sorry, I'm stupid. GX fine weather lyrics. Wait, no, sorry. Um, unfold the map to tomorrow. Let's go together. Go along. If you peek through a telescope, head to the undercover. Go along, go along. Okay. Well, let's get into it. So, first off, I think how I feel about the song overall is that it starts off strong and then it kind of like gets worse as it goes on. So, I would say for the first intro of GX, I think I'm putting it below Wild Drive. Actually, no. It's D for doo doo. GX, you got the first D. I'm sorry. I tried to like be generous and put it just below Wild Drive, but no. This song, it doesn't even, as not great as Wild Drive is. Yeah, starting off rough. As not great as it is, as not great as Wild Drive is compared to the others, I still feel like Wild Drive is significantly better than this. Because as I said, despite Wild Drive not being as good as the others, it's still a good song consistently throughout. There's not a single point in Wild Drive where I would say it's a bad song. I would just say Wild Drive is not as good as the others. But there's several points with Fine Weather where I actually think it's not that great of a song. So I think automatically because of that, it doesn't compete with Wild Drive. So not a great start, GX. Just trying to let's try. Come on, GX, get your game on for real. Someone do the get your game on in the chat. The command, please. I would appreciate it. I'm gonna get the lyrics for 99% up. Whoops. Thank you, Avalon. Oh well, shit. It doesn't kind of match, but it kind of doesn't match because it's technically talking about me. But damn. Oh well. So yeah. First one. Uh. God damn it. Fine Weather. It's so bad. I can't even like memorize the name. That's how bad it is. D for doo doo. Come on, GX. Let's step it up a little bit. Next one we got 99%. I don't remember this one at all. Let's check it out. Okay, I like that already. Liking it already. Love this shot with cards. Oh, sorry. Okay. That's much better. Yeah, this is automatically much better. I like how the characters are actually being shown with their names instead of just like showing them like the first intro. This is good. Aster, awesome. This is a good song actually. Nice. So that's the ending shot for the picture I got. So first off, I want to say something about the end real quick. This logo right here, I like this logo so much more than the American version of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX because I feel like it just fits more, I think. With this being the original logo for Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely an improvement on the first. A bit basic, but needed out the first. Yeah, that's actually a perfect like synopsis of how I feel. Like it's not God, I love this. I love this though. I love this. I'm seeing Sorcerer Dark Magic, Victory Dragon, the Wicked Dreadroot. I mean, the Wicked Dreadroot. Love this. Love this. And actually, I just fucking realized this is something that GX Tag Force does. Except with it's with uh a winged flame wingman instead of a winged Karibo. Awesome. I actually didn't understand where that was from with the game. Clever. I actually don't remember this intro at all. So that's where they got that from. I see. Suika, I now it's all coming together. I get it now. I get it. I get it. Are you still there? You're probably gone. I don't know. Or maybe you just left for a bit. But now I understand. But anyway, let me continue on with what I was talking about. So, I like this where like they actually show the characters a few of the cards that they play and their names, rather than just like in the first intro was just showing their faces. I don't know why they showed him, the copycat. I don't really get why. Like it is something that happens, but I mean, I don't know. As for the rest of the intro, overall in terms of the song, I think it's very like smooth, almost a little too smooth for me. Oh, also like I like how they show a few moments about it. I think that's cool, but I think it's a little too smooth and consistent. There's not a point where it really bumps up like the other songs. Well, let me check out the lyrics. The lyrics are not here. Why? Oh, this reflects in your downcast eyes. Move forward. When it's morning, I'll go greet you. Everyone is the same week, but the truth is, there is no wall there as much as you feel there is, even though you know that you mustn't hide if it's suffocating. Please don't understand 99%. Well, let's go a certain tomorrow. These are actually, wow. These are actually fucking amazing lyrics. These are really good. These are actually, wow. I wasn't expecting that. So actually, this has like amazing lyrics. This like perfectly describes being in school because these are school kids. That these are actually really good lyrics. The uncertainty, the unknowing of like what will happen to the future, the accepting the fact that you really are just a teenager in this wide, wide world. Damn, give that song. No, really, for real. These are really. This is really good. Like actually, like wow. Props to the writer. Props to the writer. Really good. So 99%. I'm thinking, as I said before, the song is a little bit too smooth. There's not a point where it really like escalates, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but I think compared to the others, like from the first show, because of the fact that they just escalate at a certain point, that just gives it that extra little kick. Like with especially with Warriors and Overlap, like there's that little point where it just kicks and it just gets even better, and that's probably why Shuffle and Voice aren't as good as those two in my opinion, because of the fact that it doesn't really have that as much, but it still has it. um this 99% doesn't really have that. It's a good song. If this was a tier list with just GX, you could justify an A. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If it was GX, it would definitely be an A. But I think, I mean, if it was GX, it would S. Sorry, S is the higher grade. If it was GX, I would probably give it an S, but the lowest rank of S. But all things considered, I think I'm not okay. I'm thinking in my head. Uh, okay, I'm going to put it just above Voice because I think the lyrics are vastly more like understanding of the theme, just a little bit more than Voices. Voice is like it's still on theme. It is. It's just a bit less like direct about it. And that would almost put it down for me if it wasn't for the fact that it being direct, like ironically fits with the fact that these are children. Because of the fact that they're children, I feel like it being direct is not only necessary, but it's also like this song is basically in the head of these people because throughout the show of GX, they're not really direct with their feelings because they're children. Good placement? Yeah, like okay. Like I think that's why I feel like I would put it above voice. I feel like the the like lack of subtlety is absolutely it's actually like what makes it better. And thank God I'm looking at the lyrics because I probably wouldn't have thought that if I didn't look at the lyrics. Like genuinely. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a quick like minute break because I actually need to handle something. I will be right back. And then we'll start with the rest of them. Okay, I'm back. So as I was saying, um I think another like the directness is what sells it for me. I because to be fair, I'm not saying that's like a necessarily a bad thing about voice. I think the lack of directness works for voice because it is meant to be more of a mystery because what voice was talking about can apply to anybody. It could oh shit, something fell. Sorry. As I was saying, like it's okay like that element is okay for voice because of the fact I love the BRB screen. Kaiba looking like he's screaming, all these squares make a circle. Yeah. I love that image. I had to use it for something. Anyway, what was I was saying the lack of directness works for voice because for voice what it's saying can apply to anybody and it can apply in different ways. But in the case of like GX, directness is a cinch for these intros. So automatically better than voice. So I think pretty good. Not the best. Definitely not. Definitely miles. Like these two are definitely miles better. But like this is good. It's good compared to doo doo. Not bad compared to fine doo doo. Holla doo doo. That's what I'm gonna call it. Pretty good. I'm such a fucking child. Okay, now this one This is the only one I actually remember from GX because that's how good it is. So I do actually know this one, and it's been stuck in my head ever since I watched it. We're gonna watch every version of this, by the way, so we can see the differences. So, actually, let me get to the first one, and then we'll watch the second one. Oh, ads! Ugh, give me a second. I wish I had YouTube. I wish I had YouTube. What is it called? YouTube Pro or whatever. Okay, let's watch it.
うつむき笑うその
Uh,
頬を伝う涙ひと粒 強がる君の裏
nice.
側に隠すため息笑顔は曇って砕けて散ったガラスのように僕に突き刺さる胸の痛みさらけ出していいよいつでもその笑顔救われてきた僕なんだ今だけ泣いていいよずっとここにいるからただ僕はここにいるから
Sorry, I was trying to speak, but I just couldn't because this song is just so fucking good. I couldn't even say anything. It's such a good song. But I'm not even done talking about it because sadly this playlist fucking blows. I gotta find I gotta find something. There is a video that compared all of them. Teardrop comparison. I gotta find it. There it is. It doesn't have one of the versions here. So, peak, it is. So, first off, something you'll notice between each of them is that it perfectly. And this was stuff that. All this stuff I'm about to say is stuff that was pointed out to me. And it just makes this song even better. First off, let me real quick search up the lyrics. But I'm gonna go through the visuals real quick, but let me just pull them up. Okay. So first off, as you'll see here, this is all the same. Him like crying, but in a different way, and like a different environment, obviously. No, I'll skip this. So someone pointed out this. So first off, for this one right here, someone pointed out that in the bottom, the characters appear in the order that, for those of you who don't know, disappear in the show. So first it's Zane, then it's Aster, then it's O'Brien, and then it's Jim. So first was God damn it. First was Jim, then it was O'Brien, then it was Aster, and then it was Zane. Someone pointed out to me, and that just makes this version like even sadder to look at, considering what happens in the show. And I would have never peeped that unless this person told me. So shout out to them, by the way. But that's like actually an incredible detail because as you can see, they don't appear in any other version except for this one. Someone pointed out as well that Karibo looks. I love those kinds of deals. Me too. Karibo looks very sad here, almost as if they know what's gonna happen, which is something an interesting thought. That's not like official, but it's something interesting. So also here it shows I swear to God, he's a good character. I just can't remember his Japanese name. I remember his Johan. Johan, that's her name. His name. Her name. His God damn it, I can't tell. He has a girl voice in the sub. Johan. And what the fuck is his English name? His English name is something stupid, isn't it? It's like what is his English name? Yeah, GX Johan. Jesse. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. I was thinking someone else. Jesse's fine. I was thinking of another character. Jesse's fine. I'm sorry. I was thinking of another character. I forget his name, but there was another character that had a really stupid name, but like he's fine. But anyway, this shot I just like with Chaz. Now the most biggest detail is something here. This right here, it changes throughout the course of the season. So in the first one, God damn it, in the first one, Jaden looks sad and doesn't look at Johan at all because they've just met. In the second one, after they've like established and have met, he doesn't look as sad here. I keep I keep missing it. He doesn't look as sad here. In fact, he looks more motivated than anything else. Versus in these two, where he looks like a bit downtrodden. In the first season, he looks downtrodden because he's gotten arrogant and bored of everyone else in Duel Academy. So meeting someone like Jesse or Johan, who not only understands his like power with being able to communicate with spirits, but in general is more or less on the same level, has put him to this. But it's also kind of put him in a state where he's grown to not care about his other friends as much because of the fact that Johan is so similar to him. So as you can see here, he actually looks at Johan right here. He looks at him and they look at each other. And as you can see, like his face is different here. It's like the surprise here. Next, you have the final one where he not only looks this. Sorry, I got a really bad frame there. He not. God damn it. He not only looks the saddest out of all of these, but also something you'll notice is that he doesn't look at Johan at all. Because throughout the course of this part, he feels so ashamed that Johan is gone to the point where he doesn't even think he deserves to look at him anymore. And as you can see as well, Johan is very sad too. They both refuse to look at each other in the slightest. Like the amount of like detail in just this segment right here is, I mean, not this segment right here, the amount of detail in this segment is immaculate. It's too immaculate. I really can't think of many other anime intros that compare to that kind of detail. Like, please tell me. I'm sure, I'm not saying there are any. I'm sure there are a few, but like that I can think of off the top of my head, I can't think of many. I promise you I'm not glazing, but I honestly can't think of many. And I'm talking about in just one scene. I'm not talking about in an intro as a whole. I mean in just one segment, this much detail throughout the course of these different uses of the intro. I'm not talking about like an entirety of the intro. Just like in this one segment. Off the top of my head, definitely not. Exactly. I can't think of many. There's a little thing here as well. Notice here that at first Jaden is not looking, but then he does. And in these two, he doesn't. And then this is just showing like the characters again. The final segment that we'll have to talk about is after this. The memories that he looks for is at first about Duel Academy, and then the final one is about Johan since he's missing. The final shot of him turning, it has the same face. But look at this. First one, he's a little bit more like disinterested, but then he smiles. But in these two, he doesn't because he only after at this point he doesn't look at these memories with happiness anymore because he's lost a lot of his friends during the course of the season. Or he thinks he has. He thinks they're dead. So he doesn't look at these memories with happiness anymore. It's actually quite sad because honestly, again, just the kind of immaculate detail in this intro is amazing. So all of that is to make it a point that this is the best Yu-Gi-Oh intro so far. It's the best, bar none, in my opinion. Bar none. And I don't even think that's up for debate. Because I even look at the lyrics. You pretend to be strong, but underneath you're hiding sighs. Your smile is cloudy. It sticks to me like shattered glass. The whole season 3 is about Jaden coming to realize that dueling is not all fun and games. And he learns the lesson of coasting through these threats. Because throughout season 1 and 2, he kind of just coasts through the threats like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It'll solve itself." In season 3, he learns the consequences of treating these things like a game. He learns the consequences of not taking these things seriously, and he loses his friends and believes them to be dead as a result. He learns that lesson and matures because of it. And that's what this whole song is about. I actually know the lyrics of these. Like, he speaks about Johan and his friends, and he realizes that he let them down, and ultimately he just wants to see them again. It's very heartbreaking. The song in itself is very heartbreaking sounding, even if you didn't know the lyrics. It's an amazing song, and I think it rises above Warriors and Overlap purely just because of how emotionally heart-wrenching it is. If you know everything about the song and just the immaculate detail behind it, I think it best all of these, bar none. So GX has had a pretty wild trip so far. It went from being doo-doo to awesome to saucy. It's I don't know, man. Like that probably took like 10 minutes of my time, but like I had to talk about it. So that's where we are right now. So what do you think? Anyone who's in the chat, what do you guys think of that? Do you think I put a fair placement there? I think I did. I don't know. Like it's an amazing intro. No other words for it. Very fair. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I mean, I know it's my tier list. I'm just asking for your guys' like I like other opinions on my thoughts. Anyway, so we're gonna get to the final one now. That took a while. Last one. Precious Time, Glory Days. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I actually remember this one a bit, but not too much. It's very energetic. Fujiwara. Yeah. I'm liking this right now. It's getting me. It's getting me bumping. Ooh, Precious Time, Glory Days. Okay, that's awesome. That was glorious. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I didn't remember too much of that. I remember like the music. I just don't remember the visuals. That was pretty good. So, first off, let me search up the lyrics though. That was pretty good. Okay. I didn't remember that one that much, but that was pretty good. Um, Perfect. Okay. So first off, this shot right here, I think is very good. Pause. So for those of you who this is a season that was never put in the dub. So if you're a dub fan, you'll have missed easily one of the best arcs in the series. Sorry to tell you. It never got a dub release, which is a shame. But um to not get into it too much, this is a very good shot because it represents what's I was wondering why I didn't recognize any of it. Yeah, it never got a dub release. I actually, Avalon, I would highly recommend you watch this arc. It's very good. It's very good. But it's oh, Psychic Lover is his name. It's good at representing the villain. I forgot what was his name. Uh, Hyo GX Harbinger. Um, no. Did you think I should go through all of GXO first or just skip right to it? That's not what I wanted to see. Where is his what is he? I forgot his name. Fuck. What was his name? Uh Card guy. No. Um Guy who turns into cards. That's not at all fucking. Do you think I should watch all the GXO first? I think I would say yes, but if you are familiar with season 1 through 3, I would watch season 4 first since you'll be familiar with that and you'll basically see what you missed out and then I would watch the rest of GX sub if you'd want. I can't remember his name. I'm so fucking mad. What was his name? Um Highbringer? No. Oh fuck, dude. I oh man, what was his name? Uh Corrupted Harbinger? No, that's just a card. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. What was his name? Yes, tell me his name. I can't remember. Truman. Okay. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. Truman. That's his name. I feel like I already spoiled too much, but well, not really. I mean, this is a deep dive. Truman is his name. This shot of Truman is very good because that's exactly what he does. I won't get into his lore too much, but long story short, Truman is very connected to the cards that he transformed from. So that is an important thing to note, which is why this shot is very good. I'm gonna skip a little bit. Also, this is Fujiwara. Very good shot of him. Very good. So, Broken Dreams, right? So first off, this shot is very good because it represents how Jaden feels a lot. Uh, a lot of what season 4 is about in general in terms of Jaden is him having this new like look on life, which is about everything isn't about fun and games. And a lot of people that Jaden is close to are like, what happened to the old Jaden? I want the old Jaden back. And Jaden kind of has to show all of them that, like, I'm still here. I am still Jaden. I've just grown up. And, like, that's a huge part of season 4 is Jaden, like, expressing the fact that, like, things have changed and that I can't really be the person who I used to be anymore because I have a duty to protect all of you. So I think this shot is very good at displaying that with no words. And oh, also, Ubel is a part of him now, so Ubel being there is very good. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put that full screen. But then, for a brief moment, he looks up, right? And he looks. English dub hate characters growing up and maturing. Yes, they do. He looks up for a brief moment with wonder again as he sees the elemental heroes fly through. I think that's a very good contrast for, again, the old Jaden is still there. He can still feel capable of loving dueling again. It's just that, like, again, he's gotten this new lease on life, and he understands the consequences of if he doesn't act mature about these situations. Because if he doesn't act mature in this situation, he'll lose everybody for real this time. Because he didn't actually lose everybody at the end of season 3. But this time he will if he doesn't act mature this time. I think that's very good. A very good display of that in just a few seconds of animation. You know? Like right here, like it's back. He looks up, he sees the elemental heroes and flame wait, sorry. Yeah, no. He sees the elemental heroes. He sees his childlike wonder again, but then he looks back with a serious face, ready to face what's ahead. Very, very good. Now he's running, right? And his friends are following with him, and he's happy to see them with him again. Very good. So I don't really remember Jane using this card. I got a few good shots of like O'Brien, Yon, and Aster, Neos again. We've got okay, spoiler alert, Avalon. I will tell you this. Since you watched GX, you no doubt remember when uh what was her name? Her brother. Shit, I can't remember her name now. I don't know why I keep forgetting their names all of a sudden. Alexis. You'll no doubt remember when Alexis's brother was like this. Well, spoiler alert, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX pulled a Yu-Gi-Oh! Original move because he's actually the main villain. Not literally Alexis's brother, but the being possessing him, Night Shroud, is the actual villain of the series. So they pulled a Bakura move, where Bakura before was seen as a side antagonist, but he actually ended up being the main antagonist. What? Yeah, for real, it's crazy. They pulled the same move, and it actually works very well. Again, I highly recommend you watch season 4. So he was actually the main villain, disguised as a side villain. That's why he's here. Okay, I was worried her brother was the. Oh, not her brother. No, just Night Shroud. I'll actually show you a picture. It's not going to spoil it too much, but here's a picture. Oh, by the way, this guy is not actually him. Here's a picture. This is Night Shroud, also known as Darkness, because he is the darkness. He is he is essentially everything that original Yu-Gi-Oh and new Yu-Gi-Oh is. He is the darkness, pure and simple. You'll get into that when you watch the season if you do, but regardless, that's why he's here. So good shot. So this right here showing Yubel and Professor Banner, and then Divine Neos are about to become Divine Neos. I I I am definitely watching it now. Yes, please do. And let me know what you think of it when you get a chance. Well, when you watch it. But I love this. I love the logo appearing behind Neos. Very good. Very good final shot. I mean, not final shot, but very good shot. So anyway, enough with that. So I'm gonna look at the lyrics real quick. So don't you forget your first ever dream. Keep up with the chase. Keep holding on. The broken dreams out of my grasp. I was about to give up. So the song talks a lot about broken dreams, which is meant to represent Jaden and how his childlike wonder is sort of gone because of everything that happened during the course of season 3. But the song is it keeps telling him, don't forget them. Don't forget it. Take a chance. Shout it out loud. And this is important. I shouldn't have taken out YouTube. Let me go back. This is important because actually no, it's fine because this is important because ultimately this is a lesson that the whole season is about, especially with this. The final duel between Jaden and Yugi is about that. It's about Yugi trying to tell Jaden that you've lost something during the course of this series. And when they duel, or when present Yugi sends Jaden back into the past to meet the true ultimate duelist, which is Atem, he learns again that he can have joy in dueling through dueling the one person that he's always wanted to duel. Because if you don't remember, Jaden's true dream was to become the next king of games. Now, whether he does become that or not, we will never know. But what we do know is that either way, he's gotten that back. So, regardless, very good song. So, Precious Time and Glory Days. Now, I think this is actually very complicated because hmm, I definitely think it's above. Oh, by the way, Avalon, sorry if you didn't know that Yugi and Jaden dueled at the end of the season, but I had to bring it up because it is an important part of the song. But sorry if that was a spoiler. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure you've seen it, but I mean, if it was, sorry. But it was an important part of the song description, so I kind of had to do it. Regardless, though, I'm gonna put it back. I'm kind of complicated on where I should put it because it's a very good song. I definitely think it's just as good as Teardrop, but is that where the Little People rap battle was from? Yes. Ah, yes. Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Ruining everything about Yu-Gi-Oh! Since it first was created. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yes, that's where that's from. That's where all of that is from. It. I promise you, they weren't that talented. They didn't make that. I promise you, they aren't that talented. They're not. I. This probably sounds like I'm a little Karibo hater. I promise you, I'm not. I'm not. Okay. I. I don't like that a lot of people's knowledge about Yu-Gi-Oh is from purely that. Uh, a bridge series. I really wish that wasn't the limit of people's knowledge. I don't know. I think it's because I I've actually grown to I'm the Celtic Guardian, stronger than titanium, sold out all the stadium. I did like that video. That video was funny. I think it's because I've genuinely grown to appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh because of these subs. I've genuinely grown to appreciate it because it's like these shows have heart. Like Kazuki Takahashi, for example. I sorry to bring up someone who's passed away, but a lot of the messages in these shows are beliefs that Kazuki Takahashi himself genuinely felt and died for those beliefs. He died in the beliefs that these shows represent. And I think that's why I genuinely appreciate these shows now. And I kind of hate how people only look at them from the surface. They either look at it as a ridiculous show about cards or they look at it through abridged. Not like putting down abridged, like not putting that down. I'm putting down people limiting themselves to only watching it and believing that that's just the show. That's what I'm putting down. I'm not putting down abridged themselves. They were just making something to make something. I'm not putting the artist down. I'm putting down the people who limit themselves and miss out on something like this. That's what I think, not to make it too like emotionally heart-wrenching, but genuinely the beliefs that are in this show are what Kazuki Takahashi genuinely lived by and died by. Not to bring up his like death too much, but I think that's why I really genuinely love Yu-Gi-Oh now more than I ever did as a kid because it's genuine. There's real love and thought put into this series. Like this wasn't just something that they put out for money, despite what the dub kind of shows, because it was for the dub kind of for 4 kids. But despite that, there was genuine love and thought put into the series. There's a reason why Yu-Gi-Oh has existed for as long as it has. It isn't just because of the card game. At least not for this version of it anyway. Like there's genuine heart heart of the cards. There's genuine heart in this series that I feel like is very understated. Sorry if I got a little intense there, but that's just how I feel about it. But anyway, let me get to the actual tier list. I'm sorry. So I think this song is above Overlap and Warriors, but I think it's tied for Teardrop as the best in the series so far. So anyway, good tier. I mean, good spot. I think. Sorry again, Avalon, if I got a little intense there, out of topic, but like, I really do genuinely feel passionate about this series now because of this new perspective that I've gotten. It's definitely not because of the card game anymore. The Heart of the Cards died with 37. Oh no, yeah. I haven't watched Zexal or Arc V yet, so I'll have to see. I've actually heard that Zexal was really good for sub, but the dub just like ruined it. I've heard that, so I'll have to see. But yeah, again, like, what do you think of what I said though about this show having genuine heart? Do you think that was like too much, but or what? I just feel like that's genuinely how I feel now because I mean, I don't know. Again, if it's not someone's taste, that's totally fine. I'm not judging someone for that. But I just feel like there's a lot of people who say the subs are bad because it's not the dub, and that's it. There's a lot of people. I could go down to the like Yu-Gi-Oh sub intros, and there'll be people saying dubs better, dubs better, dubs better, without saying why. They're just saying dubs better, dubs better because of the memes, dubs better because of this, and it's just like shut up, okay? Like for real, just shut the fuck up. Go watch the dub. What are you going into the subs like intro videos just to say the dub's better and then not even say why or say it's better because of memes? memes that exist because the shows are bad. Like for real. Like why are you here? Yeah, I agree. The dub doesn't get the message across. Exactly. The dub did its job, but like there's genuinely a lot missing. If you like the dubs, I think you will like the subs just as much, if not better. You know? Maybe that's just me. Like again, it's just I know like I want to say that that's just a small crowd, but in my time through the Yu-Gi-Oh like fandom, I've seen that it really isn't a small crowd. There's a huge amount of people, and this is why I don't like the fan base for the abridged, because there's a lot of people in the abridged that genuinely think that that's the peak of Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, there's nothing better than the abridged. This glorified joke fest. There's nothing better than this. Like I that makes me angry, especially since I've watched the sub now. That makes me angry, and I like abridged, but like that makes me angry that people genuinely think that's the peak of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, oh yeah, nothing's better than the abridged. Nothing's better. There's no emotion in any of the subs at all. It's just peak Yu-Gi-Oh. This glorified joke fest that for some reason gets millions of views. Glor, I say glorified with all my chest. I like abridged, but I'm sorry, it's nothing more than a glorified joke fest that happens to be somewhat funny and admittedly has heart in it too. Like this is not me putting down the abridged people again. This is just me putting down the fan base that puts it on way too high of a pedestal. It's the same way I feel about Dragon Ball Abridged. It's fine. The creation's fine. The artists are fine. Nothing is wrong with that. It's just the people who put it on a pedestal almost annoyingly so. The duels are the same, the characters are different except for Tristan. He is just there and yeah. DBZA did it better. Yeah, like again, like I promise you I'm not putting down the abridged series at all. It's just the people involved in it, the fan base that just put it on way too high of a pedestal because it limits the series themselves by claiming that the abridged are peak. It limits the potential of the series, and I think that's a bad thing. I only say this stuff to genuinely encourage people, not to put down people who like abridged. I say this to encourage you to broaden your horizons and see the potential that these shows can give you. That's what I'm saying. I know it comes across as me like bashing the abridged series. I know it comes across as that, but it only comes across as that because I'm angry at like people just thinking that's a peak. It's not because I think abridged is bad. Just to be clear, you know, DBZ abridged is better than GT and worse than other shows. Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged isn't better than any originals. Yeah, I will say that. It kind of just felt like they were jumping on the bandwagon. Anyway, I'm gonna put it on the be right back screen while I get the Yu-Gi-Oh 5D intros that I've seen so far out. So let me do that real quick.